homework time. Yes, happy homework time is here again. Let's start off lesson 2 of module 4 the right way. Jotting our name down at, whoops, I'm still doing something else. Never mind. Jotting our name down at the top of the page. So here's the deal. I'll put my name and you put yours. And then for today's date, I will write today. And you write the actual date where and when you are in this world. And so you see I've added something onto the page. That's what I was doing. I have this little triangle square because you're supposed to use the right angle template you made in class. Now if for some reason you don't have that with you at home, you could either make another one. Remember, you cut out a circle and then folded it into fourths, and the corner of it was a right angle. Do you have to start with the circle? No, you could just start with a plain piece of notebook paper. So for the love of corn, don't go into school tomorrow and say, I couldn't do my homework because I didn't have the right angle template that I made in class. You can just use something, and of course you can grab any old object in your home, such as a relatively small sized book that has a right angle, and use that. So this is going to be a little tricky for me because I can't hold a piece of paper to the screen and have you see it. That's why I have this square triangle. So we have to determine if the following angles are greater than, less than, or equal to a right angle. Label them greater than, less than, equal to, and then connect each angle to the correct label of acute, right, or obtuse. And you see they did the first one for us. They said this is less than a right angle, and therefore it's acute. We're going to do this in 3 steps. We'll go all the way. We'll do A through D, just finding out greater than, less than, equal to, and then we'll go back and do the whole, second step will be E through J, and then we'll do the whole page, drawing the lines to what type of angle they are. And so let's see how this works here. I'm going to grab this dealio here, my little triangle square, and bring it over to angle B, line up the vertex, and now I'm going to rotate it. Okay, there we go. And then put it in the corner there, and you can see, is that greater than, less than, or equal to a right angle? Yes, it is equal to. So for B, well, that wasn't quite as clunky as I thought it would be. B is equal to. Because that's, you see, label each as greater than, less than, or equal to. So B is equal to a right angle. All right, so now I'm going to grab my square again and head over to angle C. Rotate this jobber. Let's see if that works. I got to do a little more. Oh, no, actually, yeah, right there is pretty good. It's telling me, yeah, see it's snapping into place there. Here, I'll move it over like this. Okay, so now we could see we have a right angle here, and the angle we're given here, angle C, is larger. It's greater than a right angle. So I'll write down that C here is greater than. And that, of course, makes it obtuse. But we will get to that in a minute, as promised. All right, and then I'm going to grab my triangle and bring it over here, rotate it around, like so. Have to rotate it a little bit more. That was close. Can't see it. Told you this might be a little clunky. About yay? That seemed good? Okay, well, it's not quite perfect, but you could tell, obviously, this is much larger than a right angle, so we're going to write greater than here for D as well. All right, so let's go through and do the same for E through J, and then we'll go back and do all our connecting the dots. Alright, so here we are in E through J. I'm going to grab my square again and head over to this angle, and you can see, by the way, the square covers up the arm of that angle. I'm going to shift it over. You see that this is obviously less than a right angle. It is acute. Oh, what a cute little angle. Yes, I will continue making that horrible math joke. Bwahaha. This is less than for E. And let me grab my triangle. Remember, you're using your little device. And bring it over to F here. And we can see, obviously, that angle F is greater than a right angle, which means it's obtuse. And don't the words, I was having a long discussion with my daughter about this recently, don't the words actually kind of sound like what they mean? Obtuse is bigger than right. So right is that corner. Obtuse is bigger. And acute is smaller than a right angle. Doesn't that make sense? It works for me anyway. So let me grab my triangle square again. I'm going to have to rotate it now. Right there. And put it over right on there. And look at it, totally lined up. And yeah, we can see quite easily there that we are looking at equal to, is what we're supposed to write there, that this is equal to a right angle. I'm trying to figure out where to write it. I'll write it up here. Equal to, I'll even draw a little angle arrow there. Okay, it's that one. And then let's head over to H. Now, come on, we could tell H. I think we're already getting to where we really don't even need this square. But hey, why not? We'll do it right. There we go. And I'll drag it over to the vertex. And I don't have it quite right, so I'm going to get it a little more right there. I had it, and then it slipped. Did it again. Did it again. I guess I'll go too far, and then go back up. There we go. Told you this was going to be clunky. Fortunately, you have your handy little piece of paper. Okay, there we go. We can see that this is clearly, right, less than. There we go. There it is. So line it up. The corner of the triangle with the vertex. This is clearly less than a right angle. So it's acute. And again, you're probably getting to where you don't even need to drag, whoa, that's not it. You don't even need to drag your triangle over to I because it's so obvious. But hey, I'll be a good boy and do as I should. Go. And drag it over to the vertex. I don't have it quite right, so let me get it quite right. Alright. Alright, so obviously, alright, we get the idea. That is much bigger. We really didn't even need this square there, but okay, it's much greater than a right angle. I is, so that's obtuse. I know it seems like I'm just being silly, but actually saying it that way, maybe it'll help us remember what the word means. Obtuse is greater than right. And acute is smaller. Okay, now this one might actually be one where we really need to line this baby up and say, okay, what are we looking at here? All right, about yay. Yeah, let me see if I got that right on my first guess. Oh yeah, it's good. Get it right into the corner there. All right, yeah, see, that one I'd say we couldn't completely tell just by looking at it. It looked like it might be right, but maybe it was a little bit more. But so this is equal to a right angle, so it is a right angle. Okay, now remember we still have all of our connected dots to do. That'll just take half a minute, so we're going to pan out now and do all of our connecting the dots. Let's do that. All right, so this should be quick and easy. We already went through and labeled all of these, and so now we just need to say what is what. I prefer to do it this way, to say, okay, this one has already been labeled as acute, so what's acute over here? What's so acute about it? Yes, H was our less than. I'll draw a line to H. And were there any other acute angles here at all? Yes, E was less than a right angle. E is acute. And any other acute angles? No, we got them all. Okay, so let's go to our right angles. So for right angles, we did have B was equal to a right angle. C, D, E, F, G also. G was a right angle. H, I, and yes, J was a right angle. You see how we're using each dot more than once in some cases. And for obtuse angles, A, B, C. C was obtuse. You just end up with this barrage of lines. Good luck to your teacher correcting this. They'll just be like, yeah, whatever. All right, D also is obtuse. And E we already marked. F, yes, was greater than a right angle. It's obtuse. G was a right angle. H we already noted was acute. I is likewise obtuse. And J we already marked. Let's just double check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. And we have 10 angles. We did everything. Let's go on to number 2. Well, ain't this interesting? This is a little different from what we're used to here, but yeah, they're trying to be artsy. Give it up to them. A little STEAM action. So we're going to use our right angle template, or you're going to anyway, to identify acute, obtuse, and right angles within this painting. Trace at least 2 of each, label with points, and then name them in the table below the painting. Well, let's do this in a systematic way. Let's look for some acute angles first, and we'll do 2 obtuse angles and 2 right angles. Okay, so acute are the ones that are less than a right angle. And I'm going to use my straight line drawer here, and I'm going to make it a little thicker. Black should do. Okay, so right here, you see right there? There I have an acute angle, right? Boom, right there is an acute angle. All right, so let me go now, and I need to label this with points. I'm just going to go easy on myself here and call this A, B, C. So, and I'll even draw an arc to indicate in here that we are talking about the acute angle A, B, C. Lovely. Let's find another acute angle. And again, you don't just copy what I'm doing here. You can look and find your own. Well, I see this one here. This white one here is an acute angle. So that and that. And again, why make things more difficult than they have to be? I'm just going to call this DEF. So D, E, and this point is F. And so this is an acute, oh, I'll draw my arc too, might as well here. This is angle D, E, F. All right, and now let me look for 2 obtuse angles. So these are the ones that are greater than 90 degrees. I see this turquoise one here is popping out at me. So I'm going to draw a line for that arm of the angle, and then for that arm of the angle. And I'll mark the arc here. This is the angle I'm talking about. And let's get truly imaginative and just go alphabetically and continue with GHI. GHI. So there's obtuse angle GHI. And again, you don't have to copy what I'm doing. You can just find your own angles and do it that way. Now let's look for another obtuse angle. Can you find one? Can you find one? Well, I'm going to go with this. There's another turquoise one here. And there are plenty others, of course. There. There. It says to trace them, so that's why I'm doing that. I'll draw the arc to indicate this is the angle. And the reason, by the way, I'm doing that is because it could be the exterior angle here that I'm designating, which, you know, that's a whole nother story, so we'll leave that. And I'm going to go, I left off at I, so this will be JKL. Not to be confused with JK Rowling. JKL is also obtuse angle JKL greater than a right angle, greater than 90 degrees. It's obtuse. And now I'd be looking for right angles. I'll go with this brown one here. From here to here. And once again, I'm going to keep saying this. You can find your own angles. I'm just giving you examples here. And I do encourage you to go about the labeling in a systematic way, the way I'm doing here, so you can get yourself all confused, trying to be cute, spelling three-letter words or something. So M, N, O. So we have right angle, M, N, O. Great. Sorry, my writing's getting a little cruddy there. And then we find another right angle. Boy, there are plenty of them here, aren't there? So I'll go with this brown one here. My line isn't too hot there. Okay, boom. I'm going to redo that one. Wait, oops, what the? Oh no! Boy, you try to do something right. Which all goes to show that this geometry stuff is actually much easier done on paper, unlike so much else of what we do. Okay, and so these, by the way, for these right angles, I'm going to put a little square in the corner to mark them because they're right angles. We left off at O, so this is going to be P, Q, R. And you see why I didn't get cutesy? We used the better part of the alphabet, and it would get confusing otherwise because we'd be overlapping letters. You can get cutesy some other time. P, Q, R is a right angle. There we go. Almost done with homework time. Let's check out the last one now. And here in number 3, we're to construct each of the following: acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, using a straight edge. Straight edge just means like a ruler or anything that has a straight edge on it, and the right angle template that you created. Again, if you don't have that with you, you can use a corner of a book or anything else that has a right angle to it. Explain the characteristics of each by comparing the angle to a right angle. Use the words greater than, less than, or equal to in your explanations. No problem. So I have this funky little called broken line tool. So I'm going to use the space here. I only have to draw 3 angles on this whole page, so this is not a lot to do. I'm going to draw a nice, big, acute angle. Beautiful, there it is. And then I'm going to write about it. Well, here, I'll draw the arc inside as well. There's the arc. And I'll say that this angle is acute because its measure, if we were to measure it, but we don't need to, we have brains, we could see, is less than, well, what is the measure of a right angle? It's 90 degrees for a right angle, so an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. That's the measure, okay? And we could say it's less than a right angle. Well, it's a little clunky, but no problem. All right, let's do a right angle now. All right, so boom. Make it nice and big here. Great. All right, and I'll draw, instead of the arc, draw the square here, right? To show that this is a right angle. this angle is right, or you could say a right angle, either is correct, because its measure, or to use the words, yes, is equal to 90 degrees. Boom. And now let's go and hit that obtuse angle there. So this one should be nice and wide open so that there's no doubting. Now let me do that one over. Okay, there we go. Beauteous. So this angle, I know it has a little tail on it there. You'll live though. Is obtuse. Obtuse. You see, that sounds bigger than a right angle because its measure is what? The words we're supposed to use, yes, is greater than. We could say that of a right angle. We could just say is greater than 90 degrees. Woo-wee, look at that. You've gone and done it again. Another homework time complete. And I will see you next time. It is, once again, homework time. I'm going to draw my arc in here. I didn't do it on this one. I did it on the others. Booyah! See ya!